The most convenient way to start gardening is with plants that are already established. That way you just get them home, stick them in the ground, or repot them. Sometimes the plant you want isn't available, already established, or you want to plant a whole lot of them, and so it's a cost issue. Or maybe you just want more control over quality. In that case, you start with seeds. Some seeds should start in the ground, like the carrots and morning glory I'm going to show you. Others I prefer to start in trays. And that way I have, I can better monitor their moisture level and keep them all together until they're ready to go into the ground. Now I've got, a few of these lying around left over from morning glories or peppers or something. But what I really like are these peat trays that you seed in these, and when they mature, they can go right into the ground and the peat dissolves. Also, I can better protect the seeds from birds. Now, the most important thing to learn and remember when starting from seeds is that they should remain saturated completely until they germinate. Not, one moment of dryness, or else they're dead. Now, one thing I've just discovered is that some seeds have a sell-by date on the packet. That means they're good for only that 1 year. And I found out they mean it because this is corn I planted 3 weeks ago from last year's batch. Corn is supposed to germinate in 7 to 10 days. Now in all cases, when you get the seed home, decide to buy it, I write the year's date on both front and back, and that way I know without having to read the fine print next year. Now you also want to, without fail, read the back. It tells you things like the germination rate. Well, first of all, what season to plant in your hardiness zone. Also, it'll give you the planting depth and how long to wait until it germinates. And do not, if you use the whole pack when you seed, don't throw it away, because you need to remember what the planting distance is. And that reminds me, you do not have to plant the entire packet at the same time, especially when it comes to corn. The first time I did seeding corn, I planted 36 plants and I had room for 6. Now to start with, in terms of reading the back, let's start with oregano, wherever it went. Okay, the planting depth on this is 1/8 of an inch. That's kind of tricky. As a seeding medium, I was going to use half my own developed topsoil and half the humus manure mix, mixed with some sand. But this is something that just happened to be in a pot. It looked good. Also bear in mind, you do not have to plant the same thing in the entire tray. I'll tell you why I said it's tricky. It's because after you water that, the depth may, you may risk shooting the seed out of the tray, or reducing the depth. So with the depth that short, I like to go ahead and pack in the soil. I have to rewrite that date. Yeah, 1/8. You really want dry fingers when you do this. Just put it on top because it's already packed down to below 1/8 of an inch. Now just take more dirt, soil, and put it on top. Pack it. Now you do want to tag what you plant. Sometimes you can repurpose one of these. I happen to have a lot of popsicle sticks laying around from an old craft project. Got them at a dollar store. Take this thing. My marker. Writing oregano. Can't even get it in. Oh, there it is. Pull this over. This, by the way, is all that was available in the peat tray. And that was last year. I just didn't get around to using it. because I didn't need it. This year the trays are this big. Now with my corn and my peas and I guess my squash, planting depth is an inch or more, which is ideal for this. You don't want to like start planting peas, get down to here and have to like dig the soil back out just to be able to get the seed in. Okay, start with squash. Now this planting depth is 1 inch. Oh, if the depth is 2 inches or more, see if you can find one of these. Now I am going to use the whole tray for this because I'm planting 2 kinds of squash. One is a zucchini or a hybrid, and the other is butternut. Now this one's parent was bought at a grocery store 2 years ago, and then when I threw it out in my compost area, the seeds just germinated and surprised me last year. Dig out seeds. I had to wait until the blooms were pollinated and the fruit ripened before I knew what it was. I just knew it was a squash plant. Get you in some water. Now the other half of this is back in my old compost area to see if I can repeat that miracle. Okay, get some dirt. Level it down to 1 inch. My little measuring thing. I'll use this. Yep, that's right. First the zucchini. Whoa, $1.44 for 3 seeds. Now I guess the rest is butternut. Miracle, okay. Man, I can't believe this. 3 seeds. I guess most people don't plant whole rows of squash. Get all down. Gotta mark them. Teeny here. Butternut there. As far as maintaining the moisture, I have this lasagna pan that I got at a secondhand store. Do it that way. This has already been used this year. Like that. Also, to protect from birds, I use some kind of screening material. Whether it's like this, or this. Though the option I find is most just as effective is I got a polyester pillowcase from a secondhand store for $1. So this will let water come in and keep the birds out. I'm going to plant basil over here, which I may as well do now. Planting depth is 1/4 inch. Groovy. You can't have too much basil. That's why I already had the tag made. Now I'm going to water it, cover it up, water it again tomorrow. I went to dry my fingers because I'm also planting chives. Got it right? Yeah, 1/4 inch deep. Not much left, well, should be. more. Another pan from a secondhand store. Just enough. And I'm taking another try at corn, but this time with this year's seeds. Planting depth an inch. And more peas. Now I'm not using all 8 of these compartments. This is okay. Tell you in a minute. These are going to be sunflowers. Planting depth 1 inch. Had to look in the text. It wasn't in the chart thing. I got 2 from this year and a few from previous years. Just run it up the flagpole. This little pan has a hole in it. See, 6. Fits nicely. Now morning glories and carrots. That is, what are the corn and the chives and the peas and the sunflower and the squashes and the oregano and basil. First watering, those herbs that are planted a 1/4 inch deep needs to be very gentle, or else you'll just flush out the seeds. Now initially it's okay to get them completely drenched and keep them completely drenched till they start to germinate. Now for my cover, I had that cut just right. By chance, lay it down. Now it's waiting 7 to 10 days for some, 15 to 21 days for others. If it feels like work, you're not doing it right.